Woo-hoo! Man, welcome, welcome, welcome. They just being able to that's the wrong button. There we go. Just being able to get outside, and I know it's well, I ain't even gonna worry about it. So it's been a minute since I've been outside and been able to go live and been able to stream. And I it's been a hell of a journey, just because life is going to always open up new opportunities and new doors based off of where you want to go and where you want to go. The thing is that what we want and what she wants. Go, look, I'm a little excited, y'all. As you can see, it's snowing in the motherfucker out here. We are in the winter. It is officially going to be old snowy Christmas. I don't even want to say white no more because it ain't that. It's snow. Snowy Christmas. It's going to be a place where we can kind of remind, if you grew up like I grew up where we had big snow and a lot of it, you start to appreciate the nuance, the niceties of what it was like growing up, in the 80s and 90s, you know what I'm saying, or the 70s, versus, being an adult in the 2000s and 2020s and seeing everything come to fruition and the future that was so distant and so monumental is now here. And what do you really want now? So two things. One, this is still day 7 of the challenge. So if you don't know nothing about the 1-100 challenge, it's predominantly focused for men between the ages of 18 and 65 that are looking to push through their threshold, push through their plateau. If you haven't pushed through, it's just a simple push-up can get you set up. Now, a couple of things that we want to do about this is we're going to create a new level of discipline because I've seen, and it's not even I've seen, we just throw out some numbers and some stats. Only out of this current generation, that in the 1970s, 1950s to 70s, especially during that golden era in the 70s, most men were focused on physical fitness and actually karate. So physical fitness and this was the thing. I don't know about you, but I was a Last Dragon fan. Show enough, you feel me? And if you didn't know, who wasn't trying to be Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, trying to be Bruce Leroy, T-Mont, shout out to T-Mont being still alive and stuff like that. Who wasn't focused on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Who wasn't focused on getting their karate on? We used to play this game called BB Butcher and Strawberry. We used to have little mock karate fights in high school and middle school, and we was all imitating our special characters. Now, fast forward today, anime is big, cosplay is big. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and some of the young people that were born in the 90s, especially in the 2000s, are able to experience that same joy of promoting their characters in a safe place. The thing is that they're doing all of the costuming and pretending, but they're not matching it with the energy that was behind it, meaning the physical fitness, the spiritual awakening stuff, the personal identity of like knowing who you are and standing who you are, being creative, but also being cognitive of your character. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things, that's one of the big motivators behind the 1-100 challenge. It's to reconnect to all of that, man, because I believe that as young men, immature men, and older men,
or I wouldn't say older, more mature, more seasoned men, connect with the young and with the more seasoned,
and just pushing through and creating our community of connective and cohesiveness. Because
we already know that the women outside, especially in our culture, have already collectively cooperated themselves to get their bag together because of all the different reasons, you know, anger,
malice, narcissism, ego, fucking irritating, and they want us to
cater to that nonsense in a way that is counterproductive to who we are as people and who you are character wise and integrity wise as a man. Meaning,
they don't want a majority
want the benefits without the breakups.
you want they expect you to cater
To go along with the nonsense, and basically you have to be the structured one at all times, and they can be the mess. And the men that react or rebel against that, and they enjoy being a mess and messy, under the guise of hey,
they're going to enjoy themselves. It's been met with massive resistance, and the results
of that has been not so successful for us. If you're if your financial stability and your environment is not successfully secured enough. And what that basically means, nigga, if you ain't got all your shit together in regards, you got your house, you got your cars,
you got stable income, you got a stable situation, you got an environment that does not require you to be bothered with them, then you kind of fucked, bro. You kind of in a fuck because of what the system has put in place. The laws that just basically govern, that basically push you in that position, whether you're rich or poor, whether you're broke or fucking balling.
that game is right there. I mean, like, you ever feel like your hands are tied every time you try to communicate with, if for those that have kids that try to continue to communicate with the woman that you had kids with, but y'all ain't really together no more? Because one or both parties got some type of resentment towards each other or some type of issue. Even hell, even in my life, in most cases, it's not as confrontational, but uh, and that's simply because I made the decision back. I made the decision back when she was one that me and her was gonna work
because I can see based off of who I am as a person and what kind of energy she was on, we wasn't going to be successful. We wasn't going to have a successful relationship because I was still in the clubs, trying to build my brand and my business at that level. And because she was still focused on um, subconsciously, it wasn't overtly. A lot of times a women accept men based off their position and how much they really give a fuck about you for that moment. A lot of men use that as an advantage to manipulate them, maneuver, and use them for their own gains, without the hindsight of the recoil or repossessions when you lose that position
and you don't no longer have the leverage to play the game. And I see, and now, and what I see, just from time in history and fucking just living it my damn self, is the repercussions of when they got their leverage back, or they're going to get their lick back, my boy. They're going to get their lick back. They might put up with your shit early on. Like if you're in your 20s and you slanging it down and you got all the girls on your toe, you feel me? And you might not even have no more money, but you know what I'm saying? But you got game, that's why you got the perception of prosperity or the perception of doing something with your life. She's going to eventually get tired if you don't never get nothing, if you don't never fulfill on the perception that you're projecting. Case in point, my boy, we just call him C for the all that. My boy C always kept the bras, always kept them on deck, and he was a very flashy, flamboyant dude. Now, mind you, he was still married to his chick. Now, why did he get married was the main reason, but while he was out here flamboyant with the chicks, the dude did produce great numbers for me. So on the business side, I
I needed him for his marketing promotional acumen. But privately, I wa- there was a place where that he would get into very nearly dangerous altercations with some of the women he was fooling with because he knew and I knew they were broken. They were they loved on that man a different type of way because what he was telling them was a false truth. It wasn't how y'all thinking. I know what you think. He wasn't telling them that he loved them and stuff like that. The women wanted to love on him because that it was because he was telling them that he was going to take them out the game. He was going to retire them. He was going to take care of them in a way that put them in a position where that they were willing to accept his behavior in connection to the promise that they will be delivered from their internal or financial purgatory. And that was the problem. Because you can get money. You can get money long term. Look at all of our 90s hustlers that got it. That got it. And I mean they got it. And they ain't never seen money hit as good as the 90s. The 90 hustlers to all the way to the 2000. That shit stopped running up back in around 14, 15. But because of that, a lot of women in our culture have become accustomed or spoiled to that level of abundance in temporary abundance. And that bred a psychological distance with the expectations of what reality or what the real world of real infrastructure looked like versus what the delusion of what the street money and drug money looked like when drug money and street money looked like when you was going through that era of prosperity, the era of abundance. And we had a good 20 something year run. Yeah, it was dangerous. Yeah, it was messy, but you had a lot of money circulating. So you had women and men walk around fly to the motherfucker fresh as hell. Some of them did their due diligence and got properties, got sound investments, assets, and things like that. Not many of them still understood credit, but they did have property. So they, even though they might not have the best credit, they had stability and structure, right? Well, boom, all the motherfuckers got took out, killed up, or fucking locked up. Majority of them. The rest of them, and these are the leaders. The rest of them that didn't left us out here to figure out how to uh, get the women under under control, because now they out here reckless. You feel me? They out here missing because now they loose with they loose with the caboose with nothing to keep them, contained and strained. You feel me? Boom. Now what we got now? We got half of your girls across the world, especially around the world, but especially in America and certain middle class or highly prosperous areas, dropping, subscription based, adult oriented content on a regular. That's what you get from the result of when the men of prosperous spaces that kept them contained from coming out and busting wide open. Stop. Because back when girls were shaking butt, it was more of a prestigious private thing. Why? Because these women would still wanted to do it, and this is what the part that a lot of people be getting all fucked up. They acting like them girls was like so innocent thing, bruh. They wasn't. It never was. And we'll take this back all the way into ancient times. Women, there was three or four and loose booty chicks back then. We talking about Jesus time. We talking about Muhammad time. You know what I mean? The thing was all about having a bond or a connection with a man that was of means or prosperous or had some type of level of abundance and stability, which is the main thing, to create provisions for his family, right? For the family, because once 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 the woman is impregnated, and it ain't got shit to do with nothing else but just basic human nature and fucking biology. Once a woman gets pregnant, she is at the most vulnerable spot in the most vulnerable place in her life. So you, as the father of the motherfucker, is at least required and expected. And this is the culture, man. This is the culture to provide, protect, and create provisions at minimum to the woman is able, the woman and kids are able to move and get about. This is very common and normalized in the fucking uh 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 Jewish culture. This is why they have when they turn of age of 13. So even on the minimal, and this is just something food for thought too. This is something that I was always thinking about without getting into too religious, because I study people's cultures and religions for the clarification of understanding of what you believe versus what I understood and how I live and how we connected. So because of that, I'm downtown, y'all, and looking at all this new bill and all the new uh businesses that are arose around here. I know I'm jumping off the subject for a minute. I'll jump back in a minute, but just the fact of the matter that it's been so much of a development, which that's because of that, and I'm feeling real sexy. I think this is where I'm going to drop my day 7 100 in front of this backdrop. Um, is the fact of the matter that they did such abundant and extraordinary job to push a psychological and subjective agenda against us as the people, and directly in our targeted black men to not have any self-respect. And the men that fought back and is going to continue to fight because you just got it in you, not on you. You're going to do it. And so with that being said, this is day 7 of the 1-100 challenge. I'm going to drop and get mine real quick. Drop and do a minute's worth of let's see, looking at this terrain. I'm going to have to do standards. So make sure that elbows tucked in. You do it while I continue this live. Now, just to keep everything ours 100 transparent, you know what I'm saying? We got 1 minute timer right there. You feel me? So we're going to hit that with that 1 minute boy right quick. Let me drop and hit this shit. Ooh. When it's cold outside. So, as yeah. So, it's crazy how once you become aware of how they try to beat you, and then the thing that really got everything all the way up in arms is the fact of the matter that they condition our women, the mothers of our children, to now look at us as less than, treated as that we're not capable, even though we're competent and we're doing what we can for those that have possessed that ability. Some of us just don't got it, and we're not. It's not that we don't want to be. We just might not. Our brainwaves might be more technical, more logical, maybe more social, maybe more less combative, and more cooperative. You feel me? That's one. I mean, a little exhausted on that one, but my arms a little tender because I've been going straight. You feel me? These are not excuses, man. This is what you call understanding and knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are. And I think every man should take an evaluation and understand what's the best. Like when you're facing your past, when you're facing your subconscious traumas, when you're facing what you've been through, when you're getting down to the nitty and gritty of like what you survived when you was outside or even in the crib. See, they got Pedro. So probably, they got a little diner too. Yeah, so if you don't know, and these are all the shameless plugs, Pedro, I have a new show coming called Love Double Lust. And in this show, he'll be having more intimate conversation with some of your local and more well-established influencers, adult performers, and and men and women, couples also that live a lifestyle that is of abundance, of prosperity, but also how they do it. Because there is a reason why some people are having success in their intimate and private relationships, and other people are struggling. Because there's a large number of single motherfuckers out here, and we're trying to see uh, is it by choice or by circumstance? Oh, ooh, comedy 313. That's another one. You know, just from walking down here, I'm saying, you're starting to discover a lot of different areas of what's popping. You feel me? So that we can keep it pushing. You know. So that's how I'm doing. You doing that? So, uh, what was I saying? So in those areas, you know, where we are going to be surveying around the city, why don't you have a good date night on some regular shit, you know, and pay attention to the tall tales uh, of people, men and women, who generally just want to fuck with you, you know, or get to know you to fuck with you, versus just trying to get something off of you. And this is one thing I say to the ladies, man. I'm not. I want you to know my stance, y'all. It's more of a space on the overt 304s versus the covert 304s. Go ahead. Even though I have to right away, goofy. Yeah. Overt 304s versus the covert 304s. The covert 304s. If you outside being scanty and scenty, if you are in the hot and ready uniform, and this is, I want to address y'all, ladies, then I'm going to address y'all, man. If you outside and you ain't got a place to work them or serve them at, because if you outside and you on a stroll, then we already know what type of time you on, and you're going to be approached socially. If you are not that, I repeat, if you're not like that, you're not on that type of time, then dress accordingly. If you outside just to go to the club, or you going to socialize with your people, or you just trying to get some attention, then you're going to dress accordingly. Now, and this is for the folks that's, if y'all sit here trying to call yourself quote unquote exposing, like, I mean, it's pretty freaking obvious. I don't understand. I don't understand how you and your feelings about a broad that's purposely going out here to draw attention, to try and draw attention to men that got more going on, and then get mad when you say she want to build. First thing first, if you're a real baller, hoes, real 304s, and well, put it like this, real high value, hot and ready. One day you'll never see them walking because they will be they will be kept or covered, or they will position themselves where they're going to go where the real money is at. That's one. Two, high level or high end hot readies. Here we go. The hot ready distinguished motherfuckers won't even consider talking to you. The middle and bottom feeder bras are the ones that y'all keep pushing, and that's the part that's disrespectful, or I think is very irritating to the industry of the exotic entertainment, the adult, and then my exoticpreneurs who do this for real, for the real gains and games that's just happening in that bad boy. So the fact that y'all project a false narrative that these covert or walking the street hot readies who acting like they ain't who acting like they're supposed to get their bills paid, but they ain't position themselves or proposition themselves to be a responsible business owner versus some threat, and then y'all trying to expose them on a thing. It's just fucking poor and past. It's just like back in the day they used to have this stuff called Craig's. And Craig's, they used to get mad at the bras that was sitting here throwing out that 40 ball when you had you had at least a standard of like, hey, conversations and connections or is at a certain price point, engagement, a certain level of engagement. And the fact of the matter that y'all social media fake motherfuckers that's
Like y'all not disrupting the game. Y'all what y'all doing is diluting the game. And this is the propaganda that I'll be talking about. Y'all putting the game out here to be sold as if as that's the real fucking game, and that's not how that shit works. So, what I talk about in the demonic entrepreneur, what I want to talk about right now on these streams a lot is how the game really is done, how you really want to identify a real motherfucker versus these bullshit motherfuckers that if you focus on getting money, if you outside doing it, I'm talking about that's to anybody's entrepreneur. It's a way you do it. It's a how you do it, and you know, and I thoroughly educate you on how to get that bag ethically, responsibly, without playing game. Hey, how's your day? I'm awesome. In Norway. You know what I'm saying? I'll just pop y'all on there. So good looking. Appreciate you. You know, and I put this all in a book. You know what I'm saying? This is not it is a shameless plug for my book, but that's not what this game is. You know, get this game how you get this game. Needless to say. Now, for y'all fucking bros that's walking out down the street. I mean, for y'all niggas that's calling yourself streaming and shit and getting in your feelings. One, you tender dick motherfucker. You tender dick motherfucker. Why I can call you a tender dick? Because nigga, I used to be in my feelings when a broad be out here had me thinking that she wasn't what she was, and I had to wake up and pay attention to the behaviors of hot readies, and the behaviors of hoes, the behaviors of luxury caliber women, and the behaviors of loose booties are all different. They're all freaking different. The psychology of any woman on the planet is to come up. Period. If she's broke, she want to get rich. If she's rich, she want to be stable. If she's stable, she want to have a motherfucker that she can control or have comfort around her. She's never satisfied. And that was one of the things that is a very, very hard pill to suffer when I was raised with both my parents, but they wasn't together like that. And with that, the psychology of working with all women, meaning all my sisters, I had all sisters before I had my first brother. I started seeing the nuances of how they communicate. Just our women, our women is just a mess. In a sense of, yeah, they got their masculine energy popping. Yeah, they got their financial stability going because they had no choice because we wasn't there. We got took off the streets in the 2000s. So it is what it is. This is the fallout of that shit. So fuck all that other goofy shit. Like, kill that. Nigga, this is what happens when all the men, when all real men are taken out the streets and all you're left with number 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. They're not the number ones. And because I'm a number 2, I was never trying to be a number 1. I'm a leader, but I'm a leader from the whole picture. I'm not sitting here trying to stand out. One chest don't get shot up because I was like that. I'll tell the truth on that one. In my early 20s, 25 to 35, I was out front in the trenches, all the motherfuckers leading and shit, and then realized, then start recognize that I'm doing all this shit for what? Them niggas still did what they were gonna do for dollars, and they'll start eventually bringing you down. And you have to learn how. And this is when I developed and learned the principles of the entrepreneur of setting your standard and your distance and making people that want to fuck with you and they're raising to your standard and not going down them. That doesn't mean that you don't meet them there, but you meet them there and then you show, hey, this is where we need to be. And this is, if you want to get there, let's do it. And if you don't, you go do it, get there and offer them what you call breadcrumbs. And this is what all the spiritual texts and all the religious texts talk about. So with that being said, that is the purpose about what the Exoticpreneur Path to Greatness is all about. I already been at the top, and I know what it's like at the top. Now I'm going to Mount Fuji, which is larger than Mount Rushmore. So I'm going to the next echelon of Exoticpreneur excellence. And I wrote these books, and I'm writing more books and other information that's going to give you those breadcrumbs for those that go down that path. Period. Back to the story. So with them little motherfuckers, with them damn influencers that want to expose because you pulling up in a guinea or you pulling up with something foreign, and you know that's the identity of a fulfilling. I consider y'all, and I wrote y'all in the book called The Shiny Penny Syndrome. You're the shiny pennies that draw all the attention but have no fucking value. And I detest y'all fuck boys because the game is to be sold, not told. right? It's sold. Here's put some money behind it, and we'll give you all the game you want. You feel me? If you ain't got no money, we ain't got nothing to talk to you about. Why? Because you have no. Here's the thing on the flip side. And this is shit that they teach on the other side when you hang up with them fucking rich ass white people and fucking overzealous motherfuckers. They do those paywalls. They put them paywalls behind you just to show if you willing to invest into what you really want. Because ain't everybody. And my father always told me never never fuck with the hand that's feeding you, right? Never bite the hand that feeds you, right? But my father always taught me never trust anybody to give you shit for free. Never, ever trust anybody to give you shit for free. It didn't matter if it's your mama, your daddy, or your fucking government. Whatever the fuck they give you for free, it comes with it's gonna cost you more than paying for it. Oh, my shit about to die. Oh shit, gotta go. I'm about to die. Should charge this shit. Well, it was gotta get juicy. If you want to know more, go ahead and tap into the Mind of the Entrepreneur live. Uh, if you want to get more game, let's go and tap into the Mind of the Entrepreneur on all your favorite platforms. You know, I'm probably gonna do a whole episode on this shit now. All right, man. Stay healthy. Let's all become wealthy. Copy out.